All right, let's dive into Terra. What is it? What happened to it? Should you buy it? And do you need to have it before May 27th? And I'll start straight off and tell you exactly what Terra is. All right, Terra is duality of two tokens. I believe they have some GameFi projects, other dapps and things. They're just an entire blockchain, a system, an ecosystem. All right, that's simply put, that's what it is, kind of like Ethereum or Solana. They have an ecosystem built into it. Now, they also had something called an algorithmic stablecoin. These have never worked in the past. They didn't work now. This was called UST, and what happened is a bunch of shady stuff, likely shady stuff, happened behind the scenes. People dumped Bitcoin, UST, and all sorts of stuff. It got depegged and just crap hit the fan. It was over. It was done. It did not take much to destroy it. What happened was it dragged Terra, or the Luna token, down with it, okay? So what we currently know now, what I'm telling you right now, before you buy any Terra tokens, is the Luna price is nothing more than sentiment data, okay? It got dragged down because of UST to a degree, but the rest of it was sentiment. People no longer trust the system, and it went down like over 99.9%. It's just that simple. No one trusted it. It went down. And now, as long as it stays there, we know that people still don't trust it, okay? And we're currently entering a bear market with crypto and overall stocks, everything bubble, all that sort of crap. So if you're expecting it to fly up to $100 again, that if that is possible, that is not going to happen for the next 3 to 4 years at least. Well, 2 years minimum, okay? That's not going to happen. We're in a bear market now, okay? It is not going to happen. Now, it might get little pumps here and there. Might you be able to turn a profit? I'm going to be discussing that in this video, so stay tuned. Now, what is happening to Luna? The first thing we need to know is Do Kwon has announced Luna Classic and Luna. Now, this is not a fork because it is removing all the blockchain data. Luna Classic is being left behind. Everyone's getting airdropped the same amount of tokens that they have. Some of it airdropped over time. This is pretty much to pump Do Kwon's bags, probably. This is the only reason I can really think of. It makes no sense. It's to try and recover something that's dead, essentially. And the new Luna blockchain will hit on May 27th. You can see it right here. I'll zoom into that quickly. 359 plus 8 time zone. He should have just used UTC or something. That's ridiculous. Whatever. Anyways, it is going to fork. Well, not fork, because the old blockchain isn't going to be used. So in a traditional fork, what happens is you keep all the data. So both blockchains have the exact same ledger, then they fork and split, and they go in separate parts. That's really what a fork is. But in this case, what's happening is you're kind of splitting it, but then for this blockchain, for the new Luna blockchain, you're getting rid of all that data beforehand. You're destroying that road or gravel or whatever, and Luna Classic will actually keep all that data. Now, here is a big issue with all of this. He forced the vote through, or at least that's what a lot of people speculate. Obviously, none of this is financial advice, guys. I don't know the truth behind that, but it seems to be the sentiment is people liked the old blockchain. They wanted to keep Luna Classic. So something shady has happened to force everyone to go into the new blockchain. And this is the last thing you want. If people are saying, no, we don't want to do this, if you've split 50-50 with sentiment, then you're just losing half your buyers and your demand's going to drop again. It could go even lower. All right, it can go lower. Doesn't seem that way at the moment, but it can. All right, and this will also severely harm the ecosystem. Every single dApp that was on Luna cannot move across to the new Luna, has to stay on Luna Classic until they upgrade. That is a lot of time to pass before their ecosystem will even have any dApps on it again. That is a huge blunder. That is probably their biggest mistake. So Do Kwon is trying to scramble to fix something. He decided in a couple of days he wanted to do this. It is a bad move. Terra is going to die. But should you buy it? I'm still going to get to that, I promise, all right? So let's quickly check on the price analysis. Now, we can see here that the price dropped a lot, okay? You use the little scanny thingy and you can, the little, like, percentage thing, you can see 100%, all right? Obviously, it's not 100%. It is resting on its pre-bull run lows, which is quite interesting, to be honest. And from what I can see on CoinMarketCap, is its market cap is hovering around the 1 billion mark, which really surprises me but that means it can go lower. There are many cryptos out there that are better projects that are under 1 billion in market cap. So please consider that before you do anything. You can go lower. I would say to about 200 mil makes sense. But what would really make sense, that's negatives, that doesn't even exist. What would really make sense is in this zone still, but like really, really low. Okay, so it is resting at the 2 fib. It's got some move, but right now it does not take much to move that price up and down, so it's going to be absolutely crazy. Now, what should be considered is only really 60% of the tokens are going to be reminted, and I believe it's 30 or 40% are going to be distributed over 6 months or something like that. I can't remember the full details, but it's something like that. Essentially what that means is you're looking at like a 40-50%, or you're looking at a little bit of a pump just based on that factor alone. But you've got to consider how many people are like, I still want to keep my Terra Classic. I'm going to get these new tokens and sell them instantly. So there's no trusting this market. It could go in any direction here. There is no saving this token, okay? So you might want to buy before May 27th, like a tiny bag. That's personally what I would consider doing. Like $100, $200, something you might not even consider a loss if you lost it. Hoping for that 2 or 3x in like an hour or two. Stay online when the fork happens. Receive your tokens. Watch that for an hour or two. If it pumps, sell off. Do not hold that thing long term. Do not buy tokens in the effort that in 2-3 years time, you're going to make big returns. It is not going to happen. He stuffed it. Everyone in that setup stuffed it. And people do not forgive crypto projects that stuff it, all right? They do not do that. They ditch it. They move on to the next one. There's thousands of projects in the space. Most of them are better than this project. They're not going to wait around. That would be absolutely ridiculous, okay? So Do Kwon also has some plans to burn tokens and things like that. I haven't been able to find the full details on that. If I can't find the full details on that, then it's a scam, all right? Like, if someone set up a proper tokenomic model, it should be easy for me to research and find that information, and I just can't. He just says he's going to be burning tokens and things. Where are the tokens coming from? Why are they being burnt? He's just trying to save face, okay? That is what's happening right now. So the last thing we should talk about is algorithmic stablecoins. They have failed every time. Let's just put it simply, okay? But one thing we should look at is something called the Basis Cash stablecoin. All these links, I will chuck them in the description. What happened with Basis Cash? They tried to peg it using a dual token system, a little bit similar to what Terra does, not quite the same since Terra also used Bitcoin in some way. But it didn't work, it crashed, and it never went up to its peg again. Did you know Do Kwon was actually under a pseudonym at the time and helped build that stablecoin? He tried twice and failed twice. If you want to give him 3 strikes, that is up to you. Personally, I am going to stay away. A lot of people lost money on this. A lot of people are trying to recoup losses. It is a bad idea. Move on, deal with it, leave it in the dust. Maybe chuck some dust in it, some spare liquidity you wouldn't mind losing. You could make some really good gains. I'm not saying 1000x. You could make a 2 or 3x. But what's most important right now is if you do put money into this, and I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm saying you definitely shouldn't for the long term. Maybe for a week you can play the market, see how it goes. If you put money into this and you turn a profit, sell it. All right, just trust me on this one. I've been the bag holder a lot of times. If you turn a minor profit, major profit, whatever you want to call it, sell it. It's going to go back down. I don't know how long it's going to take, but when it goes down, it's going to happen at the click of the fingers, all right? It's going to happen instantly. Don't get caught holding the bag. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe. Please like the video so more people can see this and learn more about Terra Luna. It's important for future cryptos, for the future of Terra's ecosystem. Maybe he can fix this, but he's going to ditch it. He's going to move on to a new project. Mark my words. Have a good one, guys.